Welcome to the Pizza Marketplace podcast. I'm Mandy Detweiler, editor of Pizza Marketplace, and I'm here today with Kevin King, president and CEO of Donato's Pizza. Kevin, thanks so much for being with us today.
Well, thanks for having me, Mandy. Great to meet.
Would love to have you dive into your origin story. Tell me the background of Donato's and how you got started in this industry. I know that you've got quite an extensive history with pizza.
For sure. I'll start with Donato's. Donato's started in 1963. Jim Grody, the founder, started a neighborhood pizza shop on the south end of Columbus. He had worked in pizza restaurants as a kid and had the opportunity to buy Donato's. He was 19 years old. And he really set about starting a business that was based on principles and values, which have always been extremely important to Donato's. And it just was really a story about there's got to be more to business than just making a profit. Profit's essential, but it can't be your reason for existing. And the whole Donato story started out of that. Has evolved kind of into what Jim calls agape capitalism, which is just a business based on the power of love. And so we use three tenets on a daily, weekly, hourly basis, whatever it is. And that's lead with love, follow the golden rule, and do the right thing. And if we do those, we know that we'll have a successful business in the end. And so that's a little bit of the Donato story. We have 180 traditional restaurants across the U.S. and 270 inside Red Robins across the U.S. So a regional brand from a traditional store perspective with a national footprint. So Donato's has always been about abundance, great toppings, great quality, and super consistent. My own background, this is the pizza marketplace, so this is perfect. I've spent most of my career in pizza. I started as a 14-year-old kid in a neighborhood pizza place washing dishes and worked there till I graduated college. And that was a great experience. I was managing a restaurant at age 16,
Wow.
which seems so unusual in today's world. But back then it was kind of I could do it. I mainly did it in the summers but had a great experience, learned a ton, loved the pace of the restaurant business. Out of college, I went to work for Domino's. I was there 4.5 years in operations. I was young, single, and didn't know what I didn't know, but I had a great experience. I think I had 9 apartments in 3 countries in 4.5 years. So
Wow.
I moved around a lot, but I learned a tremendous amount, loved that experience. Came to Donato's after that. Donato's I knew was from Columbus. I grew up in Columbus. I knew the Grody family and came to work at Donato's in 1990 to start a franchising program. Spent 13 years here. Then went off. I said, I've had enough of this pizza thing, and went to Chase, the bank, and I was in the retail branch development group. So it wasn't as far-fetched as maybe it sounded because I had done development at Donato's. So I spent a couple years there, had the opportunity to go to Papa Murphy's as the chief development officer, was there for 10 years in an IPO and built about 1,000 Papa Murphy's across the country. And then went to Smoothie King for 6.5 years and was built another 500 Smoothie King. So that was kind of where I was in the fall of 2021 when I reconnected with Tom Kraus and Jane Grody here, and about an opportunity to come here as the president and to succeed Tom Kraus as the CEO, which happened in October of this year. So great career. I've got tons of experience that I wouldn't trade anything I've ever done, any role I've ever had, because it's really been foundational for me as I have grown up and became the CEO at Donato's.
We're seeing these pizza wars kind of heating up right now with value meals and QSRs kind of spilling over into the the pizza world. From your perspective, having seen it from Domino's and Donato's and Papa Murphy's, what's driving this intense competition right now?
I think the fundamental thing is the consumer, especially at the low end, the consumer is stressed. And we came off, especially in the pizza category, we came off record sales during the pandemic. And as the consumer kind of started going back out to eat, we saw sales soften a little bit. And then the consumer softened and their spending softened and wanting to maintain share, the competitors all went deep on price. I think really Domino's started it. They have a super powerful brand and a huge voice in the pizza category, and went low in price, and we all had to react. And um, unfortunately, the consumer is still stressed at the low end, and caused us all to get super aggressive to try to keep them engaged. So um, there's definitely a price war going on, and people trying to protect margin. And we no doubt feel it every day, and had to get aggressive on price as well. Price is not our favorite way to compete. We're a brand built on quality and consistency, so price competition is difficult for us, but we've definitely had to get sharper with the consumer and step up our game there.
So you've emphasized Donato's commitment to quality. In a market where price is a major factor right now, how do you communicate the value of that quality to customers and convince them that it's worth the investment?
It's a difficult communication when you have Domino's at $6.99 and Pizza Hut at $6.99 or $7.99 for a large on a carryout deal, or any pizza for $9.99. That's tough. It's super tough. We're not going to change our pizza. We're not going to lower our quality standards. So we just got to continue to talk about that. We recently rolled out a new menu category for us. We call it our $5 Pizza Pals. So it's buy a large pizza at regular price and get any one of our side items, almost all of our side items, for $5. So we did that in response to, we're never going to be able to sell a 14-inch Donato's pepperoni pizza for $6.99. We're not even going to try. So we're trying to demonstrate value to the consumer in a different way.
Sure.
And our $5 Pizza Pals is integral to that for us going forward. So far, we started in February. We're really happy with where it's going, but we got a lot more communication to do, because it's not an easy message, right? It's not any item on our menu for $5. It's buy a large pizza and add items for $5. So it's a challenging communication when people are super low on price, but we know that consumers do value quality and consistency. And so we just got to continue with that message and get it out there.
Right. Well, Donato's is known for its edge to edge toppings. Beyond that signature feature, what are some of the less obvious ways that Donato's differentiates itself in terms of customer experience?
So abundance is certainly one, which we do. Our 14-inch pepperoni pizza has 100 pieces of pepperoni on it. So you look at that compared to what you see on a Domino's or Papa John's, that's 2 or 3 times as many pieces of pepperoni on a large pizza. So abundance, and that carries through in all our toppings. So abundance is key. The quality of the ingredients is another big one. And then the rest is, we've got to be premium, not only on our product, we got to be premium on our service. So how are we engaging the guests and taking care of them? And in the world we're in today, premium service is something that takes effort. It takes work. You've got to have great people in order to execute premium service, but the guest does recognize it. I think everybody today talks about the premium service they get at Chick-fil-A, which they know is different than what they get at other quick service restaurants. So we try to look at that and think about that every day, and how can we engage the guests in a premium service, as well as our premium product.
For aspiring franchisees who might be listening, what's the most compelling reason to choose Donato's in today's competitive landscape? I mean, there are so many options right now to franchise, with especially with small and regional players jumping into the fray. Why choose Donato's?
Well, I think number one is you choose a brand where you are aligned with their values, their mission, and their values. So if you're not aligned with our mission and values, there's probably a better franchising opportunity out there for you, because you're going to be swimming upstream with us as a team and our other franchise partners that we have out in there, and you're going to be swimming upstream with the message that we're trying to communicate to our guests. So first and fundamentally, you gotta align yourself with a brand that you support the mission and values of that brand. So that's number one. Number two is, what's the long-term business proposition? Do you believe that there is a proposition for a higher quality, more consistent pizza product out there, or do you want to compete on the low end? And those first two are probably the best, and the rest is, we have a good financial model. So take a look, talk to our existing franchisees, talk about what the opportunities are, and go there. And I guess the last is, know that the business is going to be cyclical. So we're not going to be in a price war forever. We're going to get back to a more stable discounting environment, and then you want to have a pizza and a brand and a product that you don't have to sell on a deal to get people to buy. So, franchise partners do a really good job of understanding they're playing the long game. They're making an investment. They're going to be in a brand for 10, 20, 30 years. And so you got to think about the fact that pizza wars aren't going to last 10, 20, 30 years. It's going to be cyclical. There's going to be times where we're have to be more aggressive on price, and there's going to be times where the guest isn't going to be not quite so focused on value or price.
Aside from these pricing wars, the restaurant industry as a whole is facing these monumental labor shortages, and rising costs. How are you guys navigating these obstacles while maintaining the high standards that you're known for?
Yeah, so that's a great question. I think culture is going to be the first way you attract great people. If you have a great culture, slogans people say is, people don't quit jobs, they quit people, they quit bosses. So what's your culture like? How are you going to attract people? So we focus on turnover, training, engagement of our associates in our restaurants so that we can reduce that cycle. That's one. The second is people. It's the environment. Do you have a great environment for people to work? And one of the things that we're focused on right now is, are there tasks that we do in the restaurant that are better done by automation or done somewhere else? We used to answer phones in our restaurants. It's not a great place to answer phones. You got ovens, you've got
Right.
organized chaos. I mean, during the rush, it's busy and the phone's ringing and things are dinging at you, buzzing at you. And so we took phones out of the restaurants in 2022 and put them inside a call center. And today it's an AI call center. We make it easy for the guests to get to the restaurant if they need to, but answering the phones in the restaurant's not a great place. And the younger you are, the less you'll want to talk on the phone anyway. So it's hard to get people to be really excited about answering the phone. So we did that. We have other repetitive tasks. Saucing a pizza is super repetitive. Jim Grody always thinks about automation and innovation in the restaurant space. He, through a related company, created a machine that sauces our pizzas in 7 seconds. It
Wow.
does a perfect job. It does a better job than any human can do, faster than a human can do. So we're rolling that out to our restaurants today. And we're looking at other repetitive tasks in the restaurant. I mentioned we put 100 pieces of pepperoni on. That's not fast.
No.
So they have a machine that we're testing and perfecting in our restaurants right now that slices the pepperoni and drops it right on place. It does one of our 14-inch large with 100 pieces of pepperoni in 45 seconds, places them
Wow.
perfectly. So this world we're in is, how can we take that precious commodity of great human beings and focus them on serving our guests and taking repetitive tasks away from them. So we're looking at each step in the process to do that, and how we can really focus them and set them up to win. So if they have fewer tasks to do and they become better and better at it, we can give them the tools to win. We're also going to help on the turnover on the other side, because we've created an environment where they can win and they can succeed and that they enjoy doing. So that's really how Donato's is approaching it. We've definitely seen turnover come down. We've definitely seen the staffing issues and challenges ease up a little bit. But it's going to continue to take effort to make sure that that continues.
Do you worry about losing the personal touch that the brand was founded on so many years ago? I mean, you guys are a kind of a legacy brand now. So do you
Yeah,
worry about that?
yeah, I worry about it. And that's why I say our job is to take away the repetitive tasks that people don't really want to do, so that we can take that human capital and focusing them on that interaction with the guest and make the most out of that interaction. So I started with the phones. You say, well, don't you lose a little? I do lose a little bit, but it wasn't a great environment to answer the phone. Ovens are loud. I mean, again, we're talking to other pizza operators. That the restaurant is not a great place to talk on the phone. So, fortunately for most of us in the pizza category, the guest is already choosing that they'd rather order online. So that helps. It's taking the phone volume down. But there are still guests who would rather order on the phone. So we got to give them a great way to do that. We've done that through a fantastic AI partnership, and we think that that's a great environment. But again, I said, if the guest wants to talk to the restaurant, I got to make it super easy to get there.
So with the focus on AI, how are you keeping your employees motivated?
Well, we can motivate them just by making great pizza, right? At the end of the day, a restaurant environment is rewarding because you can see the food that you make, and you can see a lot of the guests who get it and enjoy it. So you don't get to see the people we deliver to; the delivery drivers do. They get to see that guest, and they're excited. The other thing about pizza, and all of the people who are listening to your podcast know this, is pizza is fun, it's family, and it's about sharing because we all eat off the same pizzas. So it's a great occasion. You can hardly have a pizza occasion where people aren't smiling. So that's rewarding to our associates in our restaurant. They know that they're providing a experience that people love. And so we try to focus on that too.
What about the future? What are we seeing in 5, 10 years? Are you guys opening new stores? You've got this partnership with Red Robin that seems to be doing well for you guys. Tell me a little bit about
Yeah.
where you see the company going.
So we think of growth in a number of ways. First, our traditional growth. We're going to build more stores in 2010 than we built in a really long period of time, or 2010, sorry.
2025. Yep.
Well, we look at growth in a lot of ways. One is traditional store growth. We're going to build more stores in 2025 than we've built in a really long period of time. We're going to open around 10 new restaurants. So growth of traditional restaurants still going to be a big part of our growth. Expanding our partnership with Red Robin, we still have a number of their restaurants to do, over 100 restaurants to put Donato's in over the next several years. So we're excited about that partnership. So those two avenues of growth are huge for us. We're also installing a fully automated Donato's in the Columbus airport this spring,
Wow.
where with some of the automation that Jim Grody invented with a related party called Agape Automation, and a third-party partnership that we have with a company called Appatronics, we're going to have this fully automated, freshly made pizza for you. So a robot arm's going to grab the dough. It's going to put it on the saucer. It's going to sauce it. It's going to move it to the cheeser. It's going to put the perfect portion of cheese on, move it to pepperoni if that's what you chose. It's either going to do pepperoni or cheese, and then the robot arm's going to load it in the oven, grab it out on the other end, put it on a cutter, and then slide it into a box and serve it to the guest. It's going to do all that in under 5 minutes.
Wow.
So the guest's going to get a perfect Donato's pizza every time. And we're excited to see what that does.
Okay. Well, thanks so much for being with us today. This has been excellent.
Thank you, Mandy. I really enjoyed it.
That'll do it for this episode of the Pizza Marketplace podcast, and we'll catch you next time.